Guests in my podcast are like my coffee, strong, flavorful, and they always brighten my day. We have amazing conversations over coffee. We cover everything from growth to inspiring communities, empowering customers, and sharing exceptional leadership moments. In this season, we're hosting incredible leaders whose journeys inspired me to keep growing and learning every day. I'm Imane, and I welcome you to my podcast, Coffee with Me, Leaders of Change. Hello, everyone, and welcome to my podcast. Today, I have with me a mentor, a dear friend, and HR leader, Annella Heytens.
Hi, Imane.
Hello,
Thank you
welcome.
for having me.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Awesome. So, Annella, there are so many things I want to talk about. Okay? I have 20 plus questions that I prepared. Kidding, we're not going to go all of them. But I wanted to start first with your leadership journey. You joined Microsoft in 2022. You worked for AWS. You worked for Coca-Cola, hence the sneakers.
I have the shoes.
Love the sneakers. And so many other leadership positions in HR. Tell us something that people don't know about you.
Okay. First of all, I love to read. I'm a voracious reader. I love to binge read crime novels.
Oh!
So last weekend, I binge read the Greg Horwitz Orphan X, the last three books.
Oh my God, in one weekend.
In one weekend. So that's my, that's something that's a guilty pleasure for me.
And you know, I used a little bit Copilot to get to know you a little bit from LinkedIn and the videos and the podcasts and the articles that you use and you shared and published. And I found out you have a master's degree in nutrition.
Yes.
And 20 years in HR.
Yes.
How did that happen?
Okay. So my mom's a nutritionist. So when I was trying to figure out what to do with myself, I just followed her footsteps and the nutrition. Did an undergrad and a master's degree. Actually, I love the science of nutrition. It's really, really interesting. But I didn't like the work. I mean, how many times can you tell someone to eat less and exercise more?
Tell me.
So no, that's just simplifying it. But I still like the science. I still read a lot about nutrition and try to practice that. But I felt like my calling was somewhere else. Yeah. So I went back to school. I went to the Cornell Hotel School. And then after that, I started the business roles and then have never looked back.
Amazing.
Yeah, so.
Amazing.
And I love people and I like the function. So I ended up in an HR consulting job in Beijing in 1998. Never done HR consulting.
Wow.
But then I ended up staying and loving it.
And then you mentioned also that you worked in India, right?
Yes,
China, India, Singapore. Tell us more.
Yeah, so I was traveling around with my ex-husband. And so we first landed in China and then moved to Indonesia, moved to the US. And then when I joined Cisco, I also ended up in a tech company. I moved to Bangalore. So it's just been a bit of a whirlwind of different locations and being able to experience different cultures. And really appreciated it. And it actually helps my work.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then you empathize with different cultures and people and ethnicities, and it's been a really good opportunity. I think it's an opportunity of a lifetime to travel.
I love that, and you know, knowing you and having worked with you for over a year, your D&I, it's in your DNA. Yeah, because you've lived in so many places and you experienced so many things, everything, whether it's good, great, or learning experiences. And that is so visible in your D&I commitment.
Yes, yes. I truly believe that there's opportunities for people of all, color, race, ethnicity, abilities, and so on. And I've seen it in all of the markets that I've been in. So it's good that in Microsoft we focus on trying to be as inclusive as possible.
Again, you know, Copilot is helping me here. You spoke a lot about your dad and how it did impact your leadership. And
I find it so inspiring, and I would love for the audience as well to get a snippet of how your dad inspired your journey.
My dad was a quiet hero. He was very in the background, but there are several traits of his that I really loved. One, he was very positive. Everything was always very positive. He was very empathetic and caring. He also demanded, high performance. He was an athlete. So he was a basketball player, and he was a star basketball player.
Amazing.
And he was also a star football player. So he demanded excellence and performance. And, he was a very good coach. He was actually a coach. Like, he would always kind of coach you to do things, but never actually give you the answers, which used to annoy me. He also gave me my first job when I was in 5th grade.
Wow.
In his office. I was his secretary's assistant.
Let's say chief of staff.
Okay, a chief of staff. And that was probably one of the best things that he's done for me, because it taught you how to be a worker in an office and have a work ethic that, you'd wake up in the morning, get to work at 5th grade. And then the other thing is he was super courageous. Like, during the Japanese invasion of the Philippines, he wasn't asked to go fight for the war, but he went.
Wow.
Almost getting killed in the process. I carry all those traits of trying to be positive, to think positively, to be courageous, to learn constantly. That's the other thing. He was a voracious reader as well. He loved to read the newspaper cover to cover, every newspaper that he got his hands on. So, he was always reading books. And I think that also helped influence my love of reading. And so for me, he embodied that continuous learning mindset that we're all trying to emulate here in Microsoft.
It brings the continuous learning, growth mindset, empathy. Like, he would have been the culture of Microsoft, embedding the whole culture of Microsoft. Going back to being an HR professional of 20 plus years of experience, we are in this era of AI.
Yes, we are.
We are on a daily basis, and it's moving so fast.
It is.
It is exciting, but in the same time, sometimes daunting.
Yes.
And especially for HR professionals, talent, people, priorities, so many things to learn in this era.
Yes.
How are you seeing all this?
Look, I think it's exciting, because I think it helped. I like to think of AI as another team member in my team. If I think about the way I use the Copilot or some of our AI tools, I liken it to, like, I have a new team member. And for me, if you humanize it a bit in terms of what can this second team member in your group do, there's so much possibilities, right? It opens the doors to so much possibility. And I think the thing we have to think of is, how do you use now this new team member? You've acquired someone, and how do you use this new team member? And there's so many ways you can use AI. The tools are moving at such a fast rate, right? Yeah. So even when we first announced, right, today, it's really moved so fast. And so one of the things that we have to think about is, how do we accelerate our learning and accelerate our courageousness to try? Because the tools are there and they're simple to use, but it's daunting, as you said, because it's like, how do I tell a computer to answer me? So if you visualize a person answering you, which is why I say think of it as your team member, then you'll have a better chance of actually trying. So for me, it's to try and visualize that and then use it. And then if you make a mistake, you can just keep asking more questions. Exactly. There is no right answer, right? So you just keep asking. In fact, sometimes you get the first answer you get when you prompt the tool to give you a response. You look at it and you're like, okay, this is rubbish. So then it's, what question did I not ask properly? Or how do I ask a new question? How do I prompt it to give me what I'm looking for? How do I refine what I'm looking for? So it's all about trial and error. And again, if you have the learning agility and the growth mindset, you should be able to learn it pretty quickly. And actually, you won't ever learn it, because it'll keep evolving really quickly. So it will add new tools, it will add new capabilities, and you're going to have to learn as you go along.
I love the fact of visualizing it as a person. It's a human co-pilot in a sense in your mind. And if you get a new talent to your team and you request something, maybe the first task would need some refinement, and you would coach that person.
Yes.
And you would tell the person, I wanted it in this angle,
Right.
let's look into that angle.
Right.
And then the person will go back, check, come back.
Yes.
That's what the co-pilot does
Yes.
with prompt engineering.
Exactly, exactly. It's just like if you have a new person starting in your team.
Yes.
You have to train that person about what you want them to do, right?
Exactly.
So it's no different from training AI to give you what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any use cases that you had since the last 1 year about something that now you cannot not do without Copilot and AI?
Oh, yes. So I interview a lot of people every day. And I used to type everything because I didn't want to miss what the interviewee was talking about. So now I don't have to do that. I just turn on Copilot. It will do the transcription.
Yes.
And then it will also summarize and recap. But there's another feature there that says, what other questions do you want that you missed or that you want to ask, or what follow-up questions do you want to ask?
I love that.
So there's other questions that it prompts you to do when you do the recaps or when you do the summaries. So I was doing an interview and I tried, what follow-up question should I ask?
Yes.
And it actually spit out a couple of really good
Amazing.
ones. So I obviously missed some follow-up questions, and so it prompted me to do that. So that's one. The other thing, you were in our offsite, right? You were in our offsite, and we were doing a design thinking session. And we had, hundreds of Post-it notes, hundreds, that would have taken us how long to transcribe?
I don't even want to think.
You don't ever do it again, right? Where you collect all the Post-its, you type it up individually, right? And then you transcribe it, and then you summarize everything. So here is, you just put the Post-its on a whiteboard, making sure you see every single Post-it. You take a photo and it summarizes, it clusters and summarizes.
Yes.
It was amazing.
It was incredible.
Yeah, and you've seen that firsthand. The other thing I did was I wrote a white paper, and I'm very bad at PowerPoint. I am terrible at PowerPoint. So I asked it to create a PowerPoint for me. And it did that in minutes. And it even suggested which backgrounds I should use, which photos I should look for. It was pretty incredible. All of a sudden, I'm a good PowerPoint person. So that's another use case. I mean, the other thing is if there are multiple documents that come to you, and they're all related to a specific topic, you can actually ask Copilot to come up with a summary of all those documents so that you can then think about, okay, so which part of the documents I actually want to go to know more. So it just helps you refine what you need to do as opposed to spend your hours reading a ton of different documents just to get responses. So I think those are some of the use cases, but there's also others that, specific to HR that will take too long to explain.
Yeah, we need another podcast
for some of the use cases in HR. But these are just some of the examples, and there's so much more.
It makes you more strategic and creative and innovative because the day-to-day tasks are done by your Copilot.
That's right. That's right. No, absolutely. And I think the more you use it, the more comfortable you get, right? So, and I think the reality is it learns from you. So it knows how you prompt, it knows how you ask questions, it knows what you're looking for once you get it. So it's a self-learning capability that then helps you even be more efficient than you already are.
I was talking to my teammate in my team about what's next, the typical question that we have in Microsoft, what's next in your career? And he said, Imane, in fact, I went to HR Copilot and asked, what do you think is my next career move? And he said that Copilot responded to him with an incredible thought process to say, you're coming from business management, you did pre-sales before, you are an engineer by training, here are the possible opportunities that are open for you.
Yes.
And it became a career coach in a page.
Yes. Oh, now I have another use case to use.
And I did it myself. I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it by myself because I just wanted to see how much difference will be his answer in my team compared to me. And it gives me completely different answer because they were like, you are doing also communication. You're doing podcast. You have the exec comes in your team. Why don't you look into this? And it opens your mindset in what's the art of the possible as a career growth and development.
Yeah. So even that is amazing. Or like the other thing is even ask, because again, there's millions of courses out on the web.
Yeah.
And you can ask Copilot to summarize, if you're looking for a specific development of, let's say, I need to understand more about data analytics in HR, then it can help you find the courses or the literature that you actually have to use to prioritize what you need to look at and learn.
As an HR professional, what are the next priorities that you would think about in the age of AI?
First of all, if we get the basics right, which is to take away some of the tedious work, right, the administrative work that should be able to be done by Copilot or AI tools, then you can lift up your game in HR and focus on the things that matter, like coaching leaders and managers, like developing and growing our talent, right? Like being able to assist in, to your point, in their career development and growth. We can help with more team effectiveness, how to ensure that we build the best teams and high-performing teams. So there's so many things that it frees up your time. If you have the mindset that we're taking away some of this repetitive work, some of the work that could be done by AI tools, then it frees up a lot more time to do the higher value work, which you or other executives appreciate, or even our managers. Like even our managers who are first-time managers would benefit more from our time than just being told to go read up on this or go take a course on that. So those will still be available to them much more readily and easier, but it frees up our HR's time, our HR's people time to actually have face time and then ultimately improve employee experience, right? Because right now, HR gets so busy with a lot of busy work that hopefully this will help free up time for us to actually improve our employee experience, our manager experience, our leader experience, and their capabilities and their results and their performance.
I think the opportunity is tremendous. And being from HR, people, and culture, the human connections and the relationship will not be replaced by Copilot.
Absolutely.
Let Copilot do the tedious work. Come and talk to me as a talent. Come engage with me as a manager or as a leader. These conversations are really important when it comes to people and when it comes to culture.
Exactly. And even I can even see a world where we might even have, AI coaches, right? Because if you want to ask a question and there's already an answer, I mean, there could be an AI coach that's available. Virtual assistants, right? So there could be an AI coach at some point.
It's sometimes it may reduce or remove the unbiasedness and maybe the fear when you want to talk to someone, but you don't want that someone to really know you. So you can ask, sometimes you ask
anonymous. There's anonymity. Right?
You ask a chatbot something that you don't want to ask your partner. Right. So I think that's the combination of having that plus the human connection is just powerful.
It is.
Awesome. Okay, back to you again. What you would tell your younger self if you want to go back in time?
I think I would have told myself to travel even earlier. To take more risks. I would have told myself to not be afraid of, taking like bigger roles earlier on. I would also I wasn't courageous enough to think of a career for myself. I just thought I'll do what my mom did. And I think what I would have done differently was really thought through what are the things that really get me energized and excited about. And so that's what I would do. It's like, don't settle.
Yeah.
I wouldn't settle because it's easy to settle. And I settled. It's a good thing I still managed through a more circuitous way to get to where I am today, but it would have been easier if I didn't settle. And so my advice to my younger self is don't settle for just to get something done. Like really think about what you really want to do with your life. What are you most passionate about? What are the things that get you up in the morning? What excites you? What motivates you? And then focus on that for bringing that into what you think about your career. I wasn't deliberate, and I should have been much more deliberate.
You are still successful, you are purposeful, and you're living what you are really set to achieve, and I love that. And you have so many, followers and admirers who really look up to you as a role model. So you may have settled in the beginning, but not right now, not anymore. And I love that. I love that you pivoted your career to what is really passionate for you. I love the conversation. I know we need a full podcast on HR and AI, but it's really, really great to have you on the podcast, Annella.
Thank you. And the one advice I want to give HR professionals is don't be afraid. AI is here to stay. So the best thing you can do is embrace it, try it. No one's going to see you trying it. No one's going to report it, whether you did or you didn't. Just do it in the quiet space of your computer or your phone. And it's amazing what you can do with it. It's amazing what you'll find. And it's having, again, back to the growth mindset, learning agility. Just learn.
Exactly.
And you know what? It learns with you as well. So the thing to do is not be afraid of AI. AI is here to stay. It's not going to go away. And so let's do what we can to embrace it.
We are in AI, and this is an AI company, and this is the era of AI.
Absolutely.
So here we come.
Yep, here we come.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Annella.
Thank you. It was awesome.
Thank you. And thank you all for watching.